I did kind of just roll out of bed, but like at least a half an hour ago.
Yeah.
I
You
fell
know, I
asleep.
get
I fell
I
asleep with a
get
kid last night.
on the couch or something.
No, I went up to put him down. So he's
Oh
he's
yeah.
very argumentative on who's going to bed with him.
Oh
I was
yeah.
like, I'm going to bed with you tonight. He's like, but I was like, well, what? Who laid with you last night? He's like, mommy. I was like, so whose turn is it today? Daddy's. I was like, you're
Uh,
gonna be out in 5 seconds. Like he was kind of like overtired and miserable,
does he have a problem going to sleep on his own?
and he just doesn't like to.
Oh, yeah. My daughter gets that way sometimes. I'll read to her and then she'll, I'll just like kind of lay there with her and she'll eventually fall asleep sometimes. But other times I'm like, no, I gotta, you gotta go to sleep on your own. I'll turn on her little white noise machine and she's like out in minutes. I'm like, you didn't even know I was here.
Why do
You
kids
know,
all need this stuff now? Like
they're so needy.
the
Oh, they're
whiteout
so
machine,
needy.
the fucking Galaxy.
White, and funny thing is, I started using a white noise machine when we moved here because my house, this new house that I have, is like
It's so
so
quiet.
quiet. Like I'm used to like trains and trucks driving by, and like we get here, and I'm like, I don't hear anything. Like, have I gone deaf? And then I'm like, I can't sleep with it. I get in my own head while I'm trying to sleep, and I need like fan noise or something. So
Yes. What is it? What is that show? Shameless. When one of the guys, he couldn't. They moved to the west side, and he couldn't sleep because there was nothing going on. And he's putting on he's rolling around back left to right, and like putting on music or whatever, trying to figure something out. And then finally he finds that cop noise, cop sirens and breaking glass and bullets end up putting.
falls right to sleep. Nice.
That's the equivalent of what you were dealing with when you moved in your
Yeah.
house.
Yep. Pretty much. Although now that I've grown accustomed to it, it's much nicer. Much nicer.
See,
Man, so what's new this week?
nothing much. I think everyone's at the HVAC school symposium.
Yeah. Yeah, everybody's had there hanging out. We didn't even do the overtime show last night because we're like Adam was gone and Chris was on a call. So we're like, it wasn't going to work out. The symposium has uprooted everybody's plans, it seems.
Well, the thing is, the timing is so damn close to AHR. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? So like you try to, you if you're trying to plan both of them back to back, they're literally within what 3 weeks of each other.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like if someone that already travels, I mean that's a lot of additional travel to do. You know what I
Or
mean?
plus, like, if you want to go to both and you simply have a full time job doing what we do, I mean, I'm like, hey, boss, I'm going to take a week off here. And then a couple weeks later, I'm going to take another week off to go to the HR, even, 4 or 5 days, maybe not the entire week, but, like it's not feasible. And especially for you traveling, I don't know, 87 times a year.
It's not that bad. It's I don't know, upwards of maybe the max is like 25 weeks out of the year,
That's not terrible.
right? I mean, because you're
You know,
basically traveling
half
one
the
week
year.
on, 1 week off, 1 week on, 1 week off. You know what I mean? And when I'm in front of the computer, yeah, I'm working, but I'm not like working. I'm not killing myself up a ladder. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. You're not beating your body down.
Yeah. So
You're
it's
sitting in a chair, but, as long as you stretch, do some calisthenics, like I've been telling you, you'd be
yeah.
good. It'd be good for a couple years.
Start doing some Kegels.
Yeah, stretch your hamstrings out. Get one of those eggs to keep in your butt, keep it tight, hold it there all day. It'd be good. It'd be really good, you know.
Thanks for that. I wasn't expecting that. So we're supposed to have some guests on here this morning, but apparently they don't know the time changed.
Yeah, I think they missed the mark. They'll show
Yeah.
up in an hour and be like, uh, where is everybody?
No, she was going to get coffee. Not for us, but
Yeah, not for us. But what was I know we were kind of dancing around the topic idea and I forget what
well,
it was. Something about
so
kids and the trades and
yeah, so they have like I want to say before now I thought it was 4 kids, and now they're up to like five.
wow, 5
Yeah,
kids, huh?
yeah, like brand new baby out the box, teeny tiny. So like how do you adjust? Like I couldn't think I mean, I know I think they're a little bit younger than I am. I'm 40. Um,
Hmm.
but like, what the hell I would do if I was still in a truck and then still had a newborn, like now?
Yeah. You know what boggles my mind, or don't, I mean, imagine that same situation. It boggles my mind to think like have both parents working, like trying to balance all that with a full-time sitter. Like for me, I don't live anywhere near relatives, so I
Hmm.
couldn't just, pull the whole oh, we'll ship them off to grandma's house because they're retired and they can watch the kids all day for free or whatever. Some people get lucky enough to do that. I wouldn't be able to do that. I'd have to I'd have to bring in enough income to either pay a full-time sitter or have my wife just stay at home and watch the kids all day. Like we got one kid, and I mean, she's kind of a handful at times, but 5 times that? Now you got 3, right?
Three. Yeah.
Yeah, you got 3. So, I mean, even that, and your wife is, pretty much full-time stay-at-home, right? So, I mean, that helps balance things out, you can lean on each other a little bit.
Yeah. Um, yeah, like I said, like, it was even now, like with traveling so much, because obviously whenever you get like a new job or something, you're trying to figure out. Guy I work with is 32 and has 6 kids. Get off of her.
Wow, man.
That's kind of nuts. No,
6 kids.
I that's one nice thing. So like, I get to plan a lot of things like around things, right? So I make the schedule for all the training, right? So I'm like, well, I have to go, I have to go to the school HVAC school symposium. Guess I'm only traveling one week for work. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like I kind of have, dictation over my schedule. So like, I can,
It helps out.
yeah, like it's not, my oldest daughter's birthday was on the 15th. And or I'm sorry, yeah, January 15th. And then um she was really upset. She's like, because I was traveling the week of her birthday. I was like, well, I'm gonna be home for your birthday for when we have cake, when we hold do the whole kit and caboodle. And she's like, oh, okay, all right, that's fine. So as long as
Hmm.
I'm, home around the time that said event needs to happen, I mean, we're fine. We can adjust and move around it. I mean, but like having that many kids and being able to coordinate your regular job, like where sometimes you don't know what
Yeah.
time you're getting home. You know what I mean? You could be out fucking 24 hours for all you know, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and I know, like, one of the previous episodes we were talking about, like, setting expectations and setting limits with your workplace, and, like, that's something I've done when my daughter it essentially started when my daughter was, like, looking for some sort of after-school extracurricular activity to do, and I was like, "I really need to participate in this." So I was like, 2 days a week, I need to be home by 5 o'clock to take my daughter to karate practice, for example,
Mm.
and that kinda goes along the same lines of, my daughter's birthday's next week or whatever, I need to be home at this time. Like, no ifs, ands, or buts. Like, I don't care. Like, I'll take the whole day off. I'll call in sick, whatever. Because there's certain things in life where I understand most of the time I get home at question mark. Certain days of the week, I need to be home at this time. And especially with good technicians being in such high demand, I think it's more of a reasonable thing to ask, I suppose. Ask of your employer, like, hey, you know what? My daughter's birthday's next week. Why can't I be home?
So since COVID, I've seen, and regardless how you feel about COVID, I've seen an uptick in like technicians not wanting to do like refrigeration anymore because you typically, refrigeration has to deal with food, right? It has to deal
Mm-hmm.
with, pharmaceuticals, has to deal with blood. You know what I mean? The
Also, you
demand
guys
for
just
that.
don't want to do it anymore, huh?
Well, yeah, where they're just like, COVID kind of put life into perspective. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Where is it worth the 80 hours of overtime that I just did this week, or is it more worth being home with my kids? You know what I mean? I think actually that helped put a lot of people's life in perspective. Like, is money more important than work? I don't know. But then there's some people
Mm-hmm.
that just don't want to work at all.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, yeah, that's a that's a delicate dance.
Because there's a borderline, right? There's a borderline of how much that you actually really, really need to work. You know, like, what are you willing to do, right? Are you willing to, you know, I don't know, if you willing to come in a little bit earlier. Oh, here they are. Speaking of the Devils.
Speaking of coming in earlier.
Yeah.
Man, they're bad at this.
Yeah, so I was typing out the invite yesterday and like typing up and like while I was typing both their names because they're super Italian, both of them. I texted Val and I was like, "Fuck your name, fuck your name, fuck all the vowels in your name."
You still fucked it up.
What?
You still fucked it up.
How do you pronounce it?
Yeah, how do you pronounce your last name?
Valeriani.
Yeah,
definitely sounds like a spaghetti sauce.
Yeah,
like a noodle. Of some
so many vowels in there.
100%.
So, we've been bullshitting because someone had to get coffee this morning and couldn't check a chime change. So, why don't you introduce yourselves and what you guys do and who does what and who's the boss? And
Well, we're Italian, so I'm the boss.
Yeah, okay.
Makes sense.
So I'm Jen. I am women's ambassador for SkillCat. I'm a service tech, mechanical engineer with specialty in HVAC. I also run hvachi Coalition. As you can see, basically a coalition for women in the trades. And this is Val.
Yeah, I'm Valentino Valeriani.
Told you.
Is that a real name? Is that a real name?
Say it.
Or are you are you a Mortal Kombat villain or something?
Yes.
That doesn't sound real.
I own Valeriani Air Conditioning. Been in the trades, HVAC trade for 30 years, pretty much.
Nice.
29, yeah. Yeah, ain't much that I haven't done, don't do.
Pretty much it.
Yeah.
We're
So you guys work.
I live, eat, sleep, and breathe HVAC.
You guys work for separate companies?
No, we both own our company. I just freelance for engineering too, and I work for SkillCat too.
Gotcha. Interesting. That introduces an entirely new dynamic to your situation.
Well, and that's why I thought this was interesting. So just so I didn't get this wrong, how many kids do you have now in total?
In total now, as of 14 days ago, we have 6.
Holy crap.
I was wrong. I thought it was 5. My bad. Holy shit.
Did you just find another one in the couch the other day? Like, hey, there's another one.
I popped one out a few days ago.
Kind of.
Oh my
we got
God.
one like 12 days old right down there.
I'm sure she'll make appearance eventually.
Yeah.
And this is Valentina Valeriani. The littlest one. Yeah, they range in age from 12 days old to 21 years old. So with 3 16-year-olds in the middle.
That's quite a range too.
Yeah. And a 9-year-old.
Yeah.
Sorry, I forgot the other little one.
So you guys have 6 kids. You own a business that you both work in. And everybody who's listening to this, who's in the trades, understands like the schedule can be just insane at times.
Yeah.
I don't even know where to begin. Like, how do you even attempt to manage that? Like, who makes all the bagged lunches and stuff? Like, this is
so we're not that kind of parents.
No, just
we
like
do a
here's
lot
some
of takeout.
There you go. I have one kid, and like we're busy to the point where we do the same thing. We're just like, takeout it is.
Yep.
You know, prepackaged bag stuff.
Yeah.
I've been a mom for a long time. I had my first at 16. So I think I gave up on the whole bagged lunches mom kind of deal a long time ago.
Yeah. The plaid apron.
Yeah, no, not this kind of mom.
So we each had one when we got together, and then we had one together, and then we inherited her niece and nephew as foster kids, and
now we have
another one.
Wow, very nice. Plans for more, or is there?
No, I got an appointment on Wednesday to go get this thing cut off.
Val's having a snip party.
Oh, interesting.
Does that mean you're gonna have a cake?
Oh, he's getting a cake.
scissors and a rubber band. Like that'll be the decor.
Oh man, that makes me cringe.
I know.
Yeah, me too. I'm scared.
Yeah, I would be too.
I put it on his jobber schedule so he wouldn't forget.
What's
Shit.
this? What am I doing at the medical center? Why am I there 4 hours? What the fuck?
What is this? Why do I need to shave my taint? What?
Customer rules. My shit.
This
Before he
is
shows up.
This is a different sort of service call.
Yeah.
Oh my
I'm
goodness.
gonna go there and just start working on their equipment.
Yeah. Surprise.
So
Not
what's a daily, like a day in the life of you guys with your 6 kids, your full-time business? Like, how do you even
we also
manage any of
homeschool
this?
all of our kids and other kids in the community.
No, she homeschools the kids.
He's the math teacher because I suck at that. But yeah, no. So basically, a day in the life is not seeing each other at all. He'll have his service calls or installs, and so will I. If we have big installs, we're together. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
So I do my own thing when it comes to engineering and other stuff, and he does his own thing when it comes to his more intricate installs and things like that. He's a pipe fitter from way back, so that's kind of his thing. And then as far as the kids go, we split it up. So I teach during the day. When he gets home, he takes over for whoever he needs to, so I can either do SkillCAD or, influencing stuff that I do, and it works out pretty well. We've been together for almost 16 years though, so
Wow.
got a pretty good groove going.
Doing this sort of same balance for how many years have you guys been kind of in this groove?
No, so I've only been in this trade going on 4 years. So before that, I owned a daycare, an at-home daycare. So I was pretty much the at-home mom and hating my life, not understanding why he was leaving all the time and wouldn't come home and didn't give a shit about us and cared about everybody else,
Like, why are you so tired? You only had to work all day.
Yeah, exactly. That I was that to a T. I was that person. We were talking about it yesterday. He's like, I can't count how many times I left here feeling guilty. And I'm like, well, I can't count how many times you left here with me feeling guilty for making you feel guilty. I mean, I see it on the show all the time, especially, it's really hard for wives to understand. I guess I was tired of not understanding. So I kind of just checked it out on my own and was like, wow, this is kind of interesting. And now I completely understand. I won't leave the system for him or the kids. Guess it's just how it is.
You need to write a book. You need to write a book, and every husband that's in the trade, needs to take that book that you're going to write to all their wives and be like, he doesn't really not love you. He's working his ass off to provide.
Absolutely.
Please don't be mad at him.
Or at the very least, journal every day about all this, and then turn that into a book, and then call that book "It's Not That He Doesn't Love You."
That would be
not a bad idea.
And on top of that, like when you get, like, we're up here in Maine and it's cold, and somebody calls and they got no heat, they got kids too, and it's hard to think, yeah, I just told this person, no, I'm not going to come and help you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if I leave my family, I feel bad about it, but I also feel good about it.
Yeah. Well, and especially, I mean, you have the idea of, like, you have a business to run too, so there's that added weight of, like, not only do I have a family I want to be here for, I have a business to run, so it's like,
it's definitely a different dynamic now that we own the business too. So when I came into the trade, we were working for the same company, and it was hell, to say the least. And I'm sure the owner of that company will see this because he's kind of a fanboy. But yeah, anyway, it didn't go well. So we were there about a year. And we left and we were like, what are we going to do now? And we were just like, let's do it. And here we are years later, and our company's booming, but there's only 2 techs working for our company at the same time. And that's us. And he put me on maternity leave at 7 months. So I've been out for a while, and I'm going to be out for a little while longer. So he's been killing this all by himself. It's insane.
Nice. So when you go back, I guess after maternity leave, then do you guys have like a family to help watch the kids, or a sitter to come in, or do you guys still do I know you mentioned earlier that you kind of do things during the day, and then when he comes home, you guys switch roles? Is that the plan?
So no, our older kids watch our 9-year-old for the most part. They always have.
Oh.
And then this little peanut will probably have to go to daycare, is my guess. She's little. It's not that they couldn't handle it. It's that I don't want them to have to. It's not their responsibility, you know? So
Yeah.
she'll be going to daycare.
The 9-year-old pretty much is pretty independent too.
Yeah. She could raise them.
She's smarter than I am, I think.
Yeah. See, I have an 8-year-old who it's getting close where she's getting more independent, but not quite to the point where we can like just on days where she doesn't have school or you know, things like that. I don't feel comfortable enough to leave her home. So usually one of me or my wife will have to take the day off work because we don't have a sitter available.
Yep.
You know, we've had issues with local daycare places, so we've dropped that idea. So it's
yeah, I hate daycares. They're awful.
It's a weird dynamic at times. You know, it's a hard thing to balance. And I have one kid, like let alone like 6.
Yeah, but one kid is actually harder. I promise.
Yeah.
We have 3 16-year-olds living in our home who I can literally just walk in the door and say, I'm leaving, bye. Like, I don't ask them to watch their sister. I don't, you know, like I have that. And in return, my 9-year-old is so independent because she's been basically raised by a bunch of mothers, you know, and fathers. Like, these are not her close siblings, and she was not an only child. So she just has a shit ton of parents. It's actually sad sometimes, but it works out way better than it would with one kid.
It would be kind of nice just to walk in like, yeah, I'm out. I'll see you Tuesday.
Yeah, now I actually am losing that with this one. So now I'm like, man, I'm tied down again.
Here's some pizza money. Just don't burn the place down.
Yep. Basically it.
Very nice.
Our kids have been taking care of me for the last 8 months.
Oh yeah, that's another thing. Yeah, you got your own built-in servants, if you will.
Pretty much.
Because you were on bed rest for was it 6 months or 7 months?
I've been pretty much on bed rest the last 6 months. I was high risk, and she had fetal growth restrictions. She's absolutely tiny. I'm gonna show her to you guys in a minute. You're not even gonna believe this is a baby. But yeah, so she was born 5 pounds. She's now roughly 4 pounds 6 ounces.
Wow.
We just got out of the hospital last Sunday.
I've had burritos bigger than that.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. She's literally the tiniest thing I've ever seen in my life. But she wasn't growing, so she wasn't growing on the inside, so they induced me to put her on the outside. And then now that she's on the outside, she wasn't growing then either. So we figured it out.
No.
So yeah, now she's growing and she's home. So that's all that matters.
So now that's like a whole new, not only do you have the other kids, you have this new one that probably needs more attention than you're accustomed to.
Absolutely. It's scary. It's been 9 years since I did this last.
Oh wow.
We're old this time.
It was all her fault, by the way.
Yeah, totes.
How old are you guys, if you don't mind me asking? You got to be what, late 30s, I'm guessing? I'm
early 30s. He's early 40s.
42.
I'm 34.
Wow. 8-year difference, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Score.
Yeah. They like to call me hot teen ass around here.
Yeah. They call that dirty old man and where I'm from.
Yeah. Yeah, they do here too.
Yeah.
That's all right.
I have daddy issues. What can I say?
I mean, honestly, most chicks do. It's just a thing that guys learn to take advantage of and deal with.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Except he started another daughter in me. Another kid he has to take care of.
One of the older men though, like they seek out women that like were just they're still little girls at the time. And
basically airheads.
Jennifer at 18 was mature woman and
a mother.
And,
well, then they say like guys mature much later in life, so hence like sometimes
it still took me 5 years difference. To get him where he needed to be.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I put her through hell in the beginning.
Like what sort of stuff are we talking? If it's in a radio friendly manner?
Just I'd work, I'd go out with my friends, and here's my kid. Take care of my kid while you take care of your kid, and I'll be back drunk, and yeah, I lived my life.
Kind of like you're still in the bachelor mode. It
He was
sounds.
back in it. He had just gotten out of a divorce when we got together.
Mm.
So yeah, pretty much I was an easy target when it came to, I was never going to leave. So, but it paid off because when he got sober and our kids started to get a little bit older, it got really good. And here we are 16 years later.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I loved her, and I took care of her, and did everything I was supposed to do, and I also did everything I wasn't supposed to do. So, but
And it still worked out.
I eventually came around and realized what I had, and we made it work.
Yep.
Any regrets?
No, not really.
Anything you do differently? Was that the kid, the little baby kid?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It sounded like she was laughing.
yeah, she does that. She's very silly. She literally can't laugh yet, and she can't hold her head up yet, but she actually can, and she shouldn't be able to, and it's really messed up. Say hello to the world. This is our newest HVA chick, Valentina.
Well,
Looks a little bit bigger than 5. Would you say 5 pounds?
Yeah, so she's 4 pounds 6 ounces right now. It's
Oh, wow.
You can't tell on camera. It's insane.
Yeah.
But yeah, for
Camera
reference,
adds 10 pounds.
my hand is taking up her entire upper body. And she was
my
on
hand.
camera, and that's Valentina. Take up more
Yeah,
than
I mean, we've all done that.
yeah, so that's the newest little one.
So what are the plans? I know you said that you guys were going to you're gonna have to daycare. Does that mean the other ones are gonna be done with homeschool and going into school?
Nope, never. I'll
So
still
you-
teach them.
So
So I
you're
have other kids too that aren't mine. I have a homeschool pod. So basically what I do right now, well, what I did before maternity leave was I did 3 days in class, 4 hours a day, and
okay.
then the rest are remote. So I send them all of their lesson plans the night before, and they get them on their own.
Gotcha.
Hmm.
So those ones will still, everything will stay the same with them. It's just this one really.
Is it more commonplace up where you guys up in Maine for homeschool?
No,
No. Okay.
it's not.
I know certain people, certain areas, they like doing homeschool because the sparsity of like how many houses there are. Like in certain
Yeah.
parts of Maine.
Yeah.
Like
Or
it's
like
kind
the
of
remote
It's
school
not like
system.
that here. Here, what happened was during the pandemic, our school systems got caught being really corrupt. There was a lot of money exchanged in administrative hands that should have gone to schools and teachers that didn't. So that all kind of came out. And then on top of that, nobody really knew how to handle the pandemic. We had kids that are immunodeficient. So I didn't really have a choice but to keep them home. And so I just decided to do homeschool. And then year after year, I've added more and more kids who either just don't do well in public school or their parents can't afford to send them somewhere else. So they come here for free. I teach kids all around the country. Like I can teach somebody in California the same way I can teach somebody in front of me. So I have graduates that wouldn't have graduated that dropped out. Last year I had 2 of them that ended up graduating when they wouldn't have otherwise. So it's pretty awesome work.
hopefully you're funneling all those kids in the trades.
Oh, absolutely. I've already
Yeah,
got 3 doing skill cat right now.
Really?
So hopefully
We're
by
only doing science class. Like, let's cut out history. We don't need that. Keep math, science,
I tried.
all the good stuff.
they're STEM kids for sure.
I try getting my 21-year-old son to come work with me. He wants nothing to do with it.
Our 21-year-old son climbs towers for a
Yeah.
living, however. So like it's not like we're disappointed.
Really?
Like radio towers?
Cell
and
towers, yeah.
Cell
Yeah.
towers?
He works
Is
for
he,
works for a communications company.
I mean, that's not a bad thing to get into. I don't know what the pay is, but I assume it's pretty
It's better than
comparable. I mean, it's
Doing really well.
I can't imagine there's a lot of people that are just gunning for that job. I know I wouldn't be doing that.
There was an interview.
Couldn't.
The interview I saw with somebody, and he was the guy that was in charge of changing all the light bulbs, on all these towers. And they're like, "Well, how high is that? It can't be really that high." He's like, "You ever looked in the distance and you barely see that little light flickering up above?" Yep, and I've been up there fucking changing the light bulb.
Yeah, you know, those guys only work like 3 days a year and they make like 6 figures.
Yep.
That's amazing. I want that job. I love heights.
Oh no, I can't
I
do it.
love that.
There's a movie that came out recently called Fall, and I saw it on Redbox, and it's about these two chicks that climb up one of these abandoned
I
like
heard that.
communication towers, and it does a really good job to kind of show perspective of what it's like up there. I'm like, there's no way I would ever do that. Like I've climbed 32-foot ladders and had to work off sides of ladders, like man lifts, 40-foot tall, and I'm like,
You're shaking it that high.
even that was like,
The
and I'm
longer-
strapped in,
the
full harness and
longer the
everything.
ladder, the bouncier it gets.
Yeah, 100%. I'm like, no, yeah. Because a couple years ago, I used to work for a company that did a lot of work out at the Detroit Metro Airport, and we'd have to go all the way up to the top of the hangars, and we'd have to work on the heating systems up in the top of the hangars, and it was every bit of 40-foot, 50-foot tall, and you're just in this little basket strapped in, and like I had a platform under me that would rise up and move, so it was even easier than like just free climbing up the side of a tower. So no,
Right.
I couldn't.
I don't know. I don't know how my son does it. Like knowing that I have a son that does that for a living, I'm like, he's a baddie.
I had to go up a 32-foot ladder once and core drill a 5-inch hole through a block wall, and people are like, "How are you going to hold that drill like up there and get this done safely?" And so I went up and like I put an anchor into the wall, put my harness on, tied off to that. I went up there with this big Bosch hammer drill, and I get up there and I start drilling this hole, and like, you got to put your weight into that thing. And I mean, I only weigh like 160 pounds, and so like I'm at the top of this extension ladder, and I'm pushing into the wall with this drill, and the ladder is literally coming off of the wall, and I'm just like holding it there. People are looking at me like, "This dude's crazy. This dude's crazy." And I'm like, "Just go for it." And like when that drill went through the other side of the wall, the ladder went back, hit the wall, and kind of bounced, and I almost lost my footing. Yeah, if the drill like hadn't gone through the wall, like it kind of made a catch for me.
Oh yeah.
You guys are my want to climb up that high now.
Yeah, it's not that great, really. But we do what we got to do. Like, get it done.
No, I've been like, yeah, my 32-foot ladder isn't going to do it. I'm getting me a man lift, something with a platform at least.
We couldn't get a man lift in there. It was the problem.
Uh-oh, someone's angry.
She acts about like a mother.
I'm not even gonna fight about that too, right?
So, any advice to other people that are about to get into the trades that got like 90 kids,
or even one?
Yeah, or even one. Like
this question a lot with hvachi. I got a lot of moms. For me, I guess it's that like we live in a society where everybody wants you to believe that you can't do something like this if you have kids. That those two things just aren't dynamically correct. That's wrong. You can. Daycare is an awesome thing, but also utilizing family and friends is like way bigger and better. A lot of people have like this huge support system and they don't even realize they have it. They don't want to utilize it. They're too proud. What I'm finding a lot, especially this year, is a lot of the women that are coming out that are joining the trades and that don't have childcare, especially, like reach out to one friend, and because they're like that friend wants you to do well, they want you to succeed, and they're willing to help. So I guess a huge bit of advice is to actually use your support system that you have and don't just act like it doesn't exist. And if you actually don't have a support system, there are a lot of really great daycares. And there are also a lot of, if you reach out to me, if you're a chick and you reach out to me, I can get you hooked up with resources that will help in your state, in your area, that will help with childcare, that will help pay for it because you're in the trades. There are a lot of women's coalitions around here that want you here, and we will.
Wait, so you're telling me you don't actually have to be a single mom sucking off of the government? You can actually get a career behind yourself, and
exactly. And with SkillCat, you can do that for free. That's pretty big too. A lot of people can't afford trade school. And SkillCat is actually expanding into electrical and plumbing as well. So you can pretty much do HVAC, electrical, or plumbing and get licensed in your state from SkillCat and get federally licensed. So that's pretty awesome.
Really?
But I guess my biggest bit of advice personally would be just take the freaking leap. Like, I was terrified. I've never been more scared of anything in my life, but you jump right into it and the systems become more interesting than your regular life. I'm so upset that I can't work on any boilers right now. The thing that put me out on maternity leave was a 199 BTU Bitadens. So like it's not something I ever would have thought that I would have been in love with, but I am. It's the love of my life now. So just make the leap, man.
Yeah, she carries in this 200-pound boiler, and after that, I was like, "Yeah, you're done." I was like, "You're not doing that anymore."
No, definitely not with a baby on board.
Yeah. Oh, she fought me hard. Yeah. She's
So
like, "I'm helping you put this thing on the wall." I'm like, "No, you're not."
But I did.
So what are you guys doing for right now? It's going to be just, you're going to just stay at home, Jen, Val, you're just going to keep working, and then eventually, when kids X them out, she's going to go into daycare, and then the other kids are going to be basically, the other kids are self-sustaining, and the older ones can take care of the middle one, right? So you'll go back to work then after that.
Oh yeah, I'm already back to work in all of the aspects other than the field. So the only thing I'm not doing right now is field work because I have to be home with the baby. In 2 months, I'll be going back into the field and everything else that I'm doing too. For right now too, I should mention that Val takes over my influencer stuff too when he has to. So he'll be going to AHR with you and doing stuff for Skillcat and hvachi. So stuff like that I can't do right now, he'll be taking over. That's pretty much how we're doing it.
Oh,
have you guys had to hire like a temporary employee or anything to help with?
We've been trying. There aren't any here.
I have
It's
three.
impossible.
I have three brothers. My older brother actually got me into this trade. I blame him for my life.
Nice.
Yeah, he doesn't want to do like mechanical piping and boilers and refrigeration work, stuff like that. He wants to be more the guy that sets the equipment and runs the duct work and all the ventilation stuff.
So we have him for stuff like that, but not a lot.
Yeah,
Still, it's sort of an extra set of hands when you need it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, he will do piping if I ask him to, but he doesn't want to do it for a living.
No, Val is trying to be modest and not say outright that he's literally running the entire company by himself right now.
Yeah.
I'm doing the back end, but that's all I can do right now. And he's literally every single day he's running from 3 to 7 calls. He's setting up huge installs. Like, we just landed a bunch of banks. Like, he's literally just maintaining as if I'm still in the field with him and I'm not. So
yeah, I landed 9 banks the other day. I had a guy the other day call me up because he hired an HVAC company to put in 2 heat pumps, Renai on-demand water heater, and gas fireplace.
And it is the worst installation I've ever seen. It literally looks like a 5-year-old.
They set the equipment and went to hook up the refrigerant line, and the guy threw them off the job because they didn't know what they were doing. And so now I got to go there, unscrew what they did, and do it right. And
yeah, basically no amount of work is not being taken, even though he's by himself. So kind of a badass.
Nice.
I finished that Wiesmann boiler install at like 2 a.m.
It's getting bad. Send help.
Wow.
Wow.
States. Send him up here to help us, guys.
Yeah, I just work around the clock. Whatever.
Any of the kids like kind of interested in the trades or stepping into the HVAC portion of it in any way?
Yeah, they are. They're just not old enough yet to help.
Nice.
Legally.
I mean, they can ride in the truck and observe and
yeah, absolutely. And they do. My oldest daughter and our middle son are huge into it right now. They're both doing Skillcat and they're really good at it. I'm actually quite impressed.
Good.
Yeah, that's
Skillcat. I'm not really familiar with Skillcat. Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah,
Describe it
so
for us.
SkillCat is an app. Basically, I stumbled upon it a bunch of years ago, and it advertised for free EPA licenses. And I was like, no way. I was looking for vocational classes for my kids that they could do online. And so I started doing it, and it's basically a a module-based program. Now we just released a new app the other day, so I'm just going to go by what it was before. So basically, it's a module-based program where it walks you through everything that you need for the EPA core, 1, 2, 3, or universal. On top of that, there are 100 and something other courses in the HVAC trade. So it was only HVAC. Everything on it is free, 100% free to the student. So they are able to do that because of investors that we nab here and there. But also companies can sign up for SkillCat, and they can, their whole company have this extra training, thing in their pocket that they can basically pull out at any point and be training in HVAC. On top of that, it has a bunch of different influencers that we know, like it has HVAC school videos, things like that. So the way that we learn already, the way that we're listening and watching already. So yeah, Brett's got it up on the screen now. So every single one of these courses that Brett has here, all of them are certified. So you get certified in all of these. So my portfolio is like massive right now because of this. But yeah, so you go through, basically it starts at the beginning at like key hand tools, like as if you knew absolutely nothing. And it goes all the way through until you are EPA Universal certified. And that's free. So the tech doesn't pay anything. And that's to get the youth and women in trades, which is awesome. And then now we're branching out into plumbing and electrical as well, which we're not really sure what that's going to, and gas and oil. We just got a huge bid with gas and oil, which is going to be awesome. But yeah, so basically any trade, eventually any trade you'll be able to go on here and you'll be able to do trainings over and over again for any trade that you want. And the beauty of this is it's an app. So it's right in your pocket, absolutely free, 100%. And when you open up the app, all of the stuff that you already did is right there. So you can't forget anything. You can always go back to it. We also offer, like the NATE training is right there. We offer that. We offer different tools, like we have a subcool calculator, a superheat calculator, things like that you can just pull out that'll help you in the field as well. And now on the new app, you can actually like choose. So say you want to be a commercial installer 1. So if that's your goal, you click that on your career path and it will bring you all of the courses that you need to be that. And they can even communicate through the app with your employer. If you're like, say you're trying to get a raise or a better job or promotion, they can actually communicate with your employer, which shows exactly what you've done. You post pictures and videos of what you've done on site, and it lines up with the trainings that you've done on SkillCat. So your employer can see what your skill set is and what you're capable of. And then we also have a hiring portion. So companies will come to us and say, we need techs bad. What can you send us for resumes? So your resume is on your SkillCat profile, and we send that out based on your location and your skill set. So these companies, if you're looking for a job, we can match you with the companies, kind of like Indeed does, but it's all for HVAC and trades. So it's pretty incredible. It's gotten more techs into this trade in the past couple of years than probably any other program. It's amazing. And then we also have an apprenticeship program, so we can actually set them up with an apprenticeship after they get licensed, after they do all their coursework. So it's basically a trade school in your pocket. Man. It's really awesome. It's still a startup. We are only about 4 years old, but it's incredible. I'm where I am right now because of this app. This is where I started. And now I work with the CEO directly as the women's ambassador.
I'm going to check this out. I didn't realize it was such an in-depth program at all.
Yeah, I went through trade schools and got my universal back in 2008, and when I found out about SkillCat, Jennifer came across it and she showed me. I made my own profile and I just started going. I didn't take the 608 again or anything, but I started doing all the other stuff on there, even if I knew it or not. And some of it was actually pretty entertaining, fun. Like
there are simulations too. That's what he's talking about being fun. You can actually like fix things in the simulation.
I mean, it's not like not too in depth, but like they kind of show you where to click on some things, but you get the concept of it, and it's how I like what it is for for people who want to learn. And,
How is it comparatively to like HVAC school, like the actual brick and mortar school that you went to?
You don't get the hands-on training, that's for sure. But the knowledge is still there for sure.
The science of it is, it's more, you get more of the science and technology aspect of it, of the HVAC trade in this school. The point of it is not that it's used on its own. The point of it is that it is used and then you keep going further in the trade with hands-on training in the field, so that you're not having to pay for trade school and then, you know, go through your apprenticeship after that, how it's been traditionally. But it's definitely a tool. It's not ever been meant to be used on its own. It's an addition to our HVAC training that we offer, you know, at our company or at any company. Brett does a lot of the training stuff. I mean, he definitely can tell you that, you know, even people who come from trade school, I'm sure, aren't where they need to be until they hit the CoolSys training, you know.
See, like, I'm in a position where I do so many different things. Like, I often am looking for resources just to supplement my knowledge of stuff. Like, I might have forgotten how to read wiring diagrams, or you know, even basics, like, you know, because there'll be a long span where I'm just working on restaurant equipment, and then they're like, "Oh, you need to go work on a boiler or a package unit or something." Like, I don't
it's really good
how to
for
do
refreshing, for sure. And it's got a lot of information too that wasn't necessarily available like back when Val went to school. So it's like newer stuff about the refrigerants, you know, the new SEER ratings, things like that. Stuff that you have to know now that you didn't have to know then. Pretty much, it's all on there. Yeah, it's a really cool tool. It's awesome. You can, I actually have like all of HVAC Army on there right now. Like, I have HVAC teacher, Jimmy Hedgecock. I don't know if you guys know him. He's a pretty huge influencer too. But he's actually been going through and looking at it for me just to give me some feedback and stuff like that. And he's like actually an HVAC school teacher at a brick and mortar school. So, and even he's like, oh, it's pretty cool.
Well, I'm gonna create a profile and check it out myself too.
Definitely, definitely do.
Like SkillCat will teach you like how to use your meter and like where to put your leads, how to test it, and but like trade school and on the hands training, they show you where to tap your wrench, you know.
Right. Can't learn that online.
Yeah, you can't learn that online.
For sure. Like I went to SkillCat, and then I immediately started working with Val as my lead. So I mean, even I like know there's nothing that I absolutely needed was I taught on SkillCat, but I wouldn't have been able to get where I needed to be to learn without SkillCat.
That's a good foundation to start, though.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's also built more for people who are entry level, who have never heard about HVAC. I had been in HVAC for 14 years before that, just by being with Val. So I already knew, you know, what I needed to know. These techs that are coming in now, they're straight up apprentices. I mean, they've never set foot on a job site. They don't maybe even know what HVAC tools are. So they're learning that before they even get into anything else on SkillCat, which is pretty awesome.
Interesting. So the women's in the trade sort of idea that you're pushing, I don't know if I want to call it an idea, but being a woman in the trade yourself and trying to get more women in the trades, I think you mentioned before that this is like an avenue that you push that they can get their foot in the door, like go through this, see if you at least like it, and then if you do, you have a good foundation to work your way into a place.
Absolutely.
That's
exactly how this all started.
Yeah. Do you have any rough idea of like?
Yeah, Jarrett did hire someone actually. Yeah, we have people all over the country hiring SkillCat techs now.
HVAC Army.
Yeah. Jarrett from HVAC Army hired a SkillCat girl, which is pretty awesome.
Really? Yeah, I was just about to ask if you guys knew of any or how many people have been through here, been hired, been in the field.
So we get when it started out, we were getting about 10,000 visits a day to the site. And now it's astronomical of the amount because it's an app now and it's so easy. So many people have it. Basically just from me alone, just people that I have brought into SkillCat that have gotten hired or gotten their EPAs. I would say in the past year, because I've boomed last year, I would say probably 150, most of them women. just in the last 2 weeks, I've had like 6 women that got their EPAs through SkillCat and are now moving on to apprenticeships with companies. So that's pretty awesome. But yeah, definitely SkillCat gave me the foundation to be able to open up hvachi, and they gave me full freedom of that. So they said, be our women's ambassador, get as many women as you can in here. We hadn't thought about this, we hadn't thought about women being our ticket, but maybe it is. So basically they plastered my face on everything that they owned on the face of SkillCat.
Nice.
And because of that, other women were stumbling upon it the way that I was, and they were seeing that a woman did this, and a woman who had 5 kids at the time, and all these things, and are realizing that they can do it. So now basically they just see me on the website, or they see me on TikTok, or they see me wherever they see me influencing, and they reach out to me and they say, how can I do this? And we get them in. I've had a boom of people actually joining unions, women actually joining unions after going to SkillCat and then doing their apprenticeships. They're switching to unions because unions are just loving the fact that there are women pipe fitters now, and they need them. It's really, really hard to have a hiring pool when you're casting out the population. So it definitely has been huge for this trade, getting all the women that we've gotten into. And there's other.
I think I've maybe seen
as well. So.
I mean, where I immediately work, I've seen 1 woman in the field.
Yeah, you just don't see us.
Yeah.
No,
I'd
it's
hire
weird.
more women, but never hire no civilian.
How long does it take? How long does it take to get through the program until you feel that you have someone to be comfortable enough to actually start getting into the trade? Like off of SkillCat, like if you dedicated X amount of hours per week, if you're trying to do a career change and you're you
so
want
if you did 2 hours a week, 3 months, you'd be in an apprenticeship.
Okay.
And probably between 3 and 6 months, you'd have your EPA, depending on how good you are at taking tests. I mean, you still have to pass the test, but we have a course rather than just giving you the test and a bunch of ways to study for it. We have an actual course. So every single video that you open is actual stuff in the course that you're learning, is actual stuff on the test. So I would say if you can pass a test well, I got my EPA in 3 months, so my universal, but I'm a good test taker too. So, but you can also go back over the modules. So really there's no excuse. Like if all the modules are still right there. So if you forgot something, you can go back and look at it again. It's a really good studying tool as well.
So you can get your universal free of charge through this.
Absolutely.
That is interesting because I've known a handful of guys where that's sort of like the borderline excuse, I would call it, of like, I just don't have my universal. Like I can't afford it, or like
I paid a lot of money to get that thing.
Yeah, I don't remember what mine cost, but
it's new and it's not out there huge right now, but we're trying to get it out there huge because the more techs that visit us, the more able we are to keep it going. So it's all based on, how many techs we're getting out in the field and then how many companies are hiring them. So the more that happens, it's not a secret. We don't want it to be a secret. We want people to go in there and get their universals for free. The NATE training is also free. The NATE test you do have to take on the NATE website, which is $50, but that's the only thing that costs anything on our entire platform.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it is. Our CEO is an absolute genius. He's amazing. Someday you guys got to get him on here. He's like the best businessman I've ever met. But yeah,
I was very fortunate to be working for a pretty big company when I got my licensing. They paid for it, put me through school.
Right, and that's typical. But then you have to already have a job in order to go to school. So it's like catch-22 in some cases.
I was pretty young and had a kid, had a son, and I would never have been able to afford that out of pocket and put myself on that direction.
Yeah, and a lot of people can, and that's like Bill said, that's where the excuse comes in. I can't, advance in my career because I can't afford to go to school.
Mm-hmm.
So this cuts that part out. This shows ambition. Ambition versus excuses. If you want it, you can have it. It's right there. It's free. And you can do it on your own time. You can literally do 1 module a day, or you can do 50.
And if it's in an app, like your phone is right there all the time. Like, I mean, I get sucked into watching TikTok for hours at a time when I should be using my time of, doing something somewhat educational. I got books on my phone, like everything I need, but instead I'm watching these stupid TikTok videos. There's no excuse.
Yeah, that's true. We all do that. It's an easy way to drone out after a busy day at work.
100%. But if you don't have a busy day at work and you're just sitting at home and living in your mom's basement or whatever, and you're like, I could do this, but I can't afford school.
Don't
right
have
there,
to.
man. Right there.
Yeah, and I actually have company owners. I have a lot of company owners who dedicate 20 minutes of truck time to training, and they have all their techs go on SkillCat for 20 minutes a day in their trucks. And that 20 minutes a day makes a huge difference in the long run. All those techs are more knowledgeable for it, you know.
Well, even like I referenced earlier, just supplementing the knowledge that I already have of like just going back and like reiterating the stuff in my brain. Like it might be something I've already learned 10 times, but if you don't use it, you lose it. So it never hurts to refresh yourself.
Yeah, and the way that it's set up is specifically set up for the human brain. It's set up so that we remember it. The reason that we do a video module versus quiz platform is because that's how brains remember it best. So basically you'll watch the video and say it's an HVAC school video, or there's also slides. So like you'll watch these slides or like whatever it might be. And then like 4 slides in, you're quizzed on those last 4 slides. So you've got to remember it. You can't just sit there absentmindedly and do it. So it's holding you accountable, but you're holding yourself accountable too, because you don't want to get those quiz questions wrong, because on the test, after the video, you're going to get those wrong and then you're going to have to take it again. It's like holds you accountable way more than, no trade school is going to babysit a bunch of grown ass men, right? But SkillCat will babysit your ass and make sure you stay on point.
No, that's the thing. Like I find when guys are training, if they're physically if they're watching what's going on in front of them, if they write it down, and they're also listening, it's 3 different ways that they're it's in the memory, right? So you're more apt to actually remember it. There's actually an 80% chance more of that you'll remember it versus if you weren't to do all 3 of those things at the same time.
Exactly, and that's how this is set up. Psychologically, we got to hold ourselves accountable as human beings, because if not, we'll slip out. We'll slip every time. We'll end up on TikTok like Bill.
Yeah, wasting your life.
Yep. He says to the TikTok influencer.
Yeah. I don't even do TikTok, but I watch it nonstop. It's so addictive.
Yeah,
but,
I'm the opposite. I do it and then I jump off and don't watch a goddamn thing on there.
See, if I stop myself and I realize, like, oh crap, I've been on here for like 20 minutes or whatever, then I try to switch to something educational, but
yeah, that's Val for sure.
Sometimes
like,
I don't.
Oh man, it's 4 a.m.
Well, before we wrap it up here, where can people find more information about this? I know you said SkillCat has an app. You're an influencer. Brett, I assume, has the ability to post links and whatnot in the show notes. Anything you want to give shout outs to before we wrap it up?
Yeah, definitely. So you can. Oh.
All right. Well, she forgot to wrap it up, I guess. That was I guess we're just gonna wrap it up without giving shout outs.
That was the funniest thing ever.
Like anything you
Is
want to say?
Anything you want to say? Click.
Nope. I'm out. I assume she's frantically trying to get back in there.
Anyway,
I said I had a chat message. I was like, "What the heck is that?" Peace out, guys.
Yeah, exactly.
Anything you want to say? You guys are gone.
I would say definitely skillcatapp.com is one. That's our web browser version. SkillCat, the app, Apple and Android. It's available everywhere. It's free. Everything's free. Definitely hit me up on Facebook if you have questions. If you're a new tech, or if you're a woman, or if you are someone who's looking to advance your career, I'm always here. I'm the face of SkillCat. I have people message me 24 hours a day about this. If you need help, the best way to get help is through me. So you can add hvachi Jennifer on Facebook or on TikTok. Also, I'm in and out of the SkillCat TikTok page. There's another girl that's doing plumbing stuff on there right now, Anna. But you can reach out to her anytime. HVAC Army is a great group. They know a lot about SkillCat now because I've been around a long time. And HVAC for Life as well. So yeah, basically if you want information, it's everywhere. I'm everywhere.
Well, like I said, if you want to get links over to Brett, maybe he'll be nice enough to post them in the show notes for us.
I'll put them in.
Yep.
It'll be a little bit easier. But anyway, thanks for coming on, guys. It was
thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Very interesting conversation.
Absolutely. You guys are the best. Hopefully Adam will be back next time.
Yeah,
we'll
he's in
see.
Florida right now.
Yeah, so. He's doing some sort of educational stuff, so I can't give him too much of a hard time. But
Yeah, I want to be at the symposium too. I'm jelly.
yeah,
Oh.
same here. I
Oh.
was.
On a side note, Bill, Val is a tattoo artist and is actually bringing his gun out to Georgia.
Oh,
Oh, really?
Just for Brett.
Oh man, see, I used to be a tattoo artist myself.
That's
And
awesome.
I've done numerous tats on myself and other people before I sort of left that and got into doing this. But
Yeah, I do it by appointment.
We own a shop.
Yeah.
see, I don't have equipment anymore. I'd still be drawing on myself if I could.
Yeah.
Well,
Super
shit,
fun.
man, that makes me want to go to AHR now.
You should go to AHR because Val will be there
only
and
for
Brett
that.
will be there. And
Only
Chris
so
will be there. Chris will be there.
Yep.
And
Chris will be there.
like I know Brett, so we could even use the same needle, save some money.
That's
so
right.
We actually found out we can bring as many as we want on the plane. Isn't that ironic?
that is weird.
I was talking to Val, and I was like, he's like, I don't think I can bring the needle on there. I was like, just put it in the old prison wallet. He's like, that is not going to happen. We're not going to do that.
Mhm.
He shows it to me. He's like, for the record, I'm not doing this.
Wow, interesting.
So yeah,
Georgia, you say, huh?
definitely go to AHR. You guys are gonna have so much
Mhm.
fun. I'm sad I can't go, but I'm glad you guys are all going.
Well, if the moons align and I can make it, I'll look forward to it.
Dope.
I definitely need some new ink. It's been a while since I had anything new. The last thing I got was a couple months ago. I got the tailspin plane
Nice.
sea duck tattooed on my
Really?
leg.
That's
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
And I need more. I need more good ones like that. So, but,
Yep.
all right, guys. Well, I got to jump out of here because I have to take my daughter to an appointment, and it's getting past my breakfast time. But
Yep.
thanks again for coming on.
Of
Thanks
course,
for coming on, guys.
you must be late as usual. Be back.
Send me the link, Jen. Okay.
I will.
Thank you.
Everybody.
Bye.
See you guys.
Bye.